picture this: a child who's always been quiet, hiding in the back of the classroom, but today they speak up, and for the first time, their idea changes the way everyone sees the world. That's the power of inclusion, curiosity, and care, and that's the kind of classroom we are building. Good day, I am Dr. Alicia Mohammed and the leader of Unity Growers. Our motto is cultivating excellence in early childhood education. I am thrilled to welcome you to our professional developmental workshop. Together, our goal is to grow as early childhood professionals by strengthening our skills in inclusive practice, reflective teaching, collaborative leadership, emotional intelligence, and technology integration. Over the next 3 days, we'll be focusing on 4 key objectives, which are implementing inclusive and culturally responsive practices, enhancing reflective teaching and emotional intelligence, fostering collaboration and leadership, and using technology innovatively to enrich learning experiences. Through interactive sessions and hands-on activities, you'll gain practical strategies to create classrooms where every child feels valued, supported, and inspired to learn. So let's dive in, embrace new ideas, and start building the skills that will transform our teaching and the lives of the children we serve. Good day everyone, I am Dr. Alicia Mohammed and I will be facilitating session 1. So to begin our workshop, we will begin with a session called Cultivating Inclusive and Culturally Responsive Classrooms. So to guide our discussion, we will be drawing from Carr Fanning and Rittman's 2025 article on co-creation and empowerment in inclusive early childhood education. This article will fit perfectly with our session because it will highlight 3 key ideas, which are 1. That co-creation empowers educators, families, and communities when they collaborate to design inclusive practices. 2. That inclusion must be culturally and contextually relevant, especially for children with social, emotional, and behavioral needs. 3. That inclusion also involves emotional work, where teachers and families begin to see themselves as shared experts in supporting children. During this session, the participants will explore what co-creation will look like in their own classrooms, identify strategies for involving families and communities, and reflect on one area where they will strengthen inclusion in their practice. We will also be engaging in a short activity where you will work in small groups to discuss a current inclusion challenge and draft a simple co-created solution involving families or the communities. This will allow us to connect the article's ideas directly to the real classroom experiences. By the end of those 2 hours, we will be laying the foundation for the rest of our workshop series, focusing on how inclusion, culturally responsive classrooms grow when educators and families build solutions together.
Good day everyone, I am Miriam and I'm a lecturer in education and a Google certified educator. I will be conducting session 2, which is reflective teaching and emotional intelligence. This session is based on the article The Relation Between Reflective Teaching and Emotional Intelligence, The Case of Irani EFL Teachers by Nezhad and Nemeti 2019. This study shows that teachers who engage in reflective practices like journaling, self-evaluation, and peer feedback develop higher levels of emotional intelligence. This means they become more self-aware, more empathic, and better at managing emotions in a classroom. The article highlights 3 key points. First, reflective teaching enhances emotional intelligence by helping us pause, analyze, and understand our feelings and responses. Second, emotional intelligence is strongly linked to teacher effectiveness. It improves classroom management by strengthening teacher-student relationship and support better learning outcomes. And third, integrating reflection and emotional intelligence fosters professional growth, making teachers more resilient adaptable, and capable of handling challenges. This article was chosen because it aligns perfectly with our session focus. It provides both theoretically grounding and practical strategies, reminding us that reflection and emotional intelligence are universally relevant across cultures and contexts. By the end of this session, you will have practiced self-reflection, explored emotional intelligence competencies, and created a personal action plan to apply these strategies in your own teaching. Together, we'll learn how to reflect, relate, and respond, turning theory into practice and strengthening both our pedagogy and our well-being. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Miriam, for explaining session number 2. Good day, everyone, and I will be your presenter for session 3, Building Teamwork and Leadership in Early Childhood Education. I am Miss Leslie Ann Mead, MED, Early Childhood Specialist. This session runs for 1.5 hours from 9 to 10:30 a.m. and it focused on how collaboration, trust, and shared responsibilities can strengthen our practice as educators. Drawing on insights from the wisdom teams by Kenneth Berg and Smith, we'll explore 3 ideas: collaborative leadership, sharing interactive and valuing each educator's voice. Then, trust and communication, building openness and shared vision. And the last one is distributed responsibility, encouraging creativity and resilience to shared decision making. To make these ideas practical, we'll encourage and engage you in an activity called Leadership Web Strength Mapping Collaboration. This activity will take about 55 minutes in total and is divided into 4 steps. First, you will spend 15 minutes identifying individual leadership strengths. Next, in small groups, you will have 20 minutes to map your common strengths on a chart, creating a web that shows how cooperation enhances practice. Then you will take about 10 minutes to discuss your webs, highlighting how diversity of strengths makes teamwork stronger. And finally, we'll come together as a whole for about 10 minutes for reflection, considering gaps and how distributed leadership can address challenges. By the end of this session, you'll be able to name 3 leadership characteristics in early childhood education. Reflect on your own leadership practices and work out strategies to improve teamwork in your learning environment. This session is not about theory only. It's about seeing leadership as a shared network of strengths and leaving with practical tools to build stronger, more collaborative teams. I now hand you over to my next colleague who will be telling you about how to engage families and communities for holistic development in our afternoon session. Savitri, over to you.
Good day, everyone. Thank you, Leslie, for explaining session 3. I am Savitri Prasad, a special needs education support assistant, and I will be enlightening you all on building teamwork and leadership in early childhood education. I will be explaining session 4. This session will last 2 hours from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. In this article, the first key point highlights culturally responsive anti-bias engagement. It reminds us that every family brings unique cultural values, traditions, and experiences. As educators, we must recognize and respect these differences, challenge our own biases, and make sure every family feels seen, valued, and welcome. This is the foundation of genuine connection. The second point focuses on shared power and authentic partnership. Instead of the school leading everything, the article encourages us to see families as co experts. When we allow families to share their knowledge, experiences, and ideas, we create stronger, more meaningful partnerships that truly support children's growth and well being. And finally, the article emphasizes multiple partnerships and pathway for connection. Not all families engage in the same way, and that's okay. Whether it's home based activities, community events, flexible communication styles, or informal check ins offering different options ensure that every family, regardless of background, work schedule, or comfort level, has a way to partnership. Together, these 3 points show that when we honor culture, share power, and offer flexible pathways, we build stronger families and community partnerships that support holistic development for every child.
Good day, everyone. I am Miss Miriam, and I will also be teaching session 5, which is innovation and integration using technology to enhance learning experiences. Now, when we think about student engagement, we often consider students to sit down and listen quietly. But as Rochelle Dean Pott reminds us in her 2024 article, harnessing technology for engaging learning experiences, engagement is much deeper. It's about curiosity, critical thinking, and students actively processing information. That's what leads to real academic success. Technology can be a powerful bridge to this deeper engagement. Tools like podcasting and virtual reality don't just add novelty, they foster creativity and connection. Imagine students creating their own podcasts to tell stories or stepping into a virtual environment to explore history or science. These experiences make learning memorable and meaningful. But here's the key: simply adding technology isn't enough. We must intentionally design tech based experiences that align with learning goals, encourage collaboration, and empower students to take ownership of their learning. Integration is about purpose, not just tools. In this session, we'll critically explore and apply technology tools, design engagement, and inclusive learning experiences. Fostering creativity, collaboration, and deeper understanding, together we'll move from theory into practice through demonstrations, group activities, and reflection so that you leave with concrete strategies to integrate technology meaningfully into your classroom. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Julian Mackenzie, and I will be facilitating today's session on cultivating inclusive and culturally responsive classrooms. I am an early childhood educator and an emerging facilitator in inclusive practices with experience supporting diverse learners and guiding teachers in developing inclusive strategies. Today, we will explore culturally responsive teaching, CRT, and teacher efficacy in inclusive preschool settings, guided by the article by Cheo, Cho, and Wang, 2025. This research highlights how teachers feel confidence in implementing CRT, the factors that influence successful CRT practices, and how adaptive strategies support children's culturally, linguistic, and developmental diversity. By the end of this session, you will be able to explain the concept of CRT and the importance of teacher self efficacy. Identify at least two teacher level or contextual factors that influence successful CRT implementation. Design a strategy or action plan for your own classroom that adapts CRT principles of your local context. We will engage in the inclusive CRT action planning workshop where you will reflect on your classroom diversity, review key findings from the article, and collaboratively design a practical action plan. You will then present your plan to peers, receive feedback, and identify one concrete action to implement in the next 2 weeks. This hands-on activity will allow you to move from understanding CRT theory to applying it in your own classroom, addressing all 3 sessions' objectives: understanding CRT, identifying contextual factors, and planning adaptive strategies for inclusion. By the end, you will leave with actionable steps to ensure culturally responsive teaching in your learning environment.
As we look ahead to the closing of our 3-day professional development workshop, I want us to take a moment to imagine the impact this experience will create. Over these upcoming sessions, we will strengthen our understanding of inclusive teaching, deepen our emotional intelligence, build meaningful home-school connections, and explore innovative ways technology will enrich our classroom. But even more importantly, we will grow. Not just as an individual educator, but as a community committed to excellence and equity. Our group's main goal is to cultivate stronger, more inclusive early childhood environments through collaboration, reflection, and culturally responsive practice. And throughout this workshop, every activity, every discussion, and every shared strategy will move us closer to that vision. Because professional development is not a task to complete, it will be a continuous journey of becoming more aware, more reflective, more compassionate, and more intentional. And each step we take will positively shape the classrooms, families, and communities we serve. Because sometimes the smallest shift will create the greatest change. A simple adjustment, a new strategy, or a moment of listening. And that brings us back to where we began. Remember that quiet child, the one who will one day find the courage to share their voice? Imagine how many more voices we will uplift when we choose to teach with purpose, empathy, and courage. Thank you for being here with us, for growing with us, and for choosing to become the kind of educator who will inspire change. Thank you.